right. Hey, Plant Strong people. This is Rip Esselstyn, your host. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica Haggerty. And, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Plant Strong Snackables, where we chew and dish on all things food, specifically plant strong food. Boy, Jess, how you been? It's been what, maybe a week or two since we've done a podcast.
Yeah, lots of big things are happening at Plant Strong these days. It's been a dense month.
Yeah, it has. We'll share with you guys some of that. Right out of the bat, I just want to say, Jess, that I don't know about you, but I'm just amazed how this Delta variant is just tearing through the country right now. And I've got a bunch of family members and friends that have come down with COVID over the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to visit my parents for plant stock here later today. I'm going to be flying from Austin to Cleveland. And I just came across a study that I want to share with everybody because it's very reaffirming what a whole food plant-based diet can do to help prevent severe cases of COVID and hospitalization. So there's a study that just came out in the British Medical Journal. The cohort size was several thousand people. It was 6 countries. It was a combination of France, Germany, Italy, Spain, the UK, and the USA. And what it showed was that plant-based dieters are 73% less likely to develop moderate to severe COVID-19 symptoms, as opposed to people that are eating a high protein, low carbohydrate diet, are 4 times more likely to develop these severe symptoms. So again, just pointing to, how what we eat can affect our immune system, our health, our ability to fight off diseases and pathogens and viruses. So everybody that's out there that's eating Plant Strong, you are the best offense is a good defense, and the best defense is a good offense, and you're doing great.
That is such a relief to hear, because you're right. It is, anxiety inducing. And I do have lots of friends who have struggled with it recently. It's no fun, and anything you can do to, 1, avoid it, and 2, reduce the symptoms, reduce the effects.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. And so we'll post that in the show notes, the link to that study, anybody that wants to dive into the specifics on that study. But it came out in May, right? Just a couple months ago, again, in the BMJ, which is a very reputable, scientific journal.
It is. And thanks. Yeah, I'll be eager to dive into that as well. I'll be eager to check that out. Thanks for sharing, Rip.
Yeah. So Jess, what's the most exciting thing that's going on in your world at Plant Strong these days?
Yeah. So I guess the biggest news, of course, since our last episode is Big Bowl is back. We broke the internet with this launch, didn't we, Rip? It's been a wild week. Yeah,
we officially launched it September 1st. We had been dark on the Big Bowl because, remember, we were selling the old Big Bowl, the Engine 2 Plant Strong Big Bowl that came in the boxes, and that relationship with our supplier partner ran out. So we were dark for almost probably 5 months.
Yeah.
Maybe
it was
6.
hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
Weren't you being heckled in your daily life by friends and family about when Rip's Big Bowl was coming back? You couldn't go anywhere without people asking you.
Oh, it was brutal. I mean, oh yeah. You wouldn't believe the people were like, when's the Big Bowl coming back? I'm like, I'm dying here. And I'm like, I understand, I'm dying too.
Yeah, we all wanted it. And that's the amazing thing about Big Bowl is it becomes part of your daily routine. Slowly but surely, you start to need it every day, which is great. It's great, but you crave it.
Yeah. And, just to give people a little background on the Big Bowl and kind of where it originated. so in 1987, I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin, and I immediately started this career as a professional triathlete, really a starving professional triathlete. And so I would make my own concoction of some of my favorite, very, very cheap cereals. So raw oats, right? Just rolled oats. You can get those for 89 cents a pound. So I would go to the bulk section and get those. Bite-sized shredded wheat, super cheap. One of the cheapest cereals on the shelves of any store is your Uncle Sam's toasted wheat flakes, right? So toasted wheat flakes. Mm-hmm. And then the last was grape nuts or Ezekiel 4-9 nuggets. Either one are kind of, you can substitute. And I take all four of those equal combinations and mix them into a big old jar, and then I'd shake it up. And I just, eat breakfast from that bowl for, it would usually last me a week or two. And that's what I, did. And then this relationship began with Whole Food Market stores. And it was the first product that we launched as a commercial product under the Engine 2 banner was the Rips Big Bowl cereal. It launched just in one region. It was in the Rocky Mountain region. And there was a company out of Denver called Rocky Mountain Foods that were brave enough to put it together. And so that's when we came up with the original that just had the raisins. And then we also had the berry that had 3 different berries. And then we also had, actually, believe it or not, in the beginning, we had a banana walnut as well. And and so we just, hummed along with those 3 SKUs. Eventually, the original, or the raisin, and the triple berry were so outperforming the banana walnut. And, if you're not performing, you're not going to make it on the shelves at Whole Foods. And so that one got discoed after and that means discontinued, and it discoed after probably 3 years. And it was my favorite. It was my absolute favorite. But we've made some pretty spectacular upgrades to the formula, thanks to you and your due diligence and finding the perfect supplier partner with all kinds of fantastic inclusions. If you want to speak to that for a sec, I think that it warrants it.
Sure. Well, Rip, thanks for giving me the backstory. I was actually going to ask you in this episode how Rip's Big Bowl came about. And it sounds like you just went out there, found probably the only 4 or 5 ingredients, clean cereals that were out there, and put them together, and just eat that. I heard that there's a recipe for your original Big Bowl. I mean, you just talked through all the ingredients, but for those who are interested, I want to keep up this idea of open source recipe sharing. So if we could post that in the show notes, I think that would be great.
Oh yeah.
You want to make Rip's Big Bowl at home, the old school version, have at it. We'll share that information with you.
And it's also, Jess, it's the first recipe in every one of my 4 books.
Great.
Right. And there's a little different twist on each one, but that's how much I adore it and love it. And I tell people that this has been the foundation of my success. It's been the linchpin to my success now for 33 years, because I start every morning with the Big Bowl, with all, the inclusions. And I also put some other toppings on there that we can talk about. And it totally lasts me until, noon, 1, 2 in the afternoon. I am so good and so pumped up, and my tummy is so happy.
And I have a feeling I know why that is. I bet I know why that is. And we can talk about that here in a second. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the changes that we've made, because I want those loyal, longtime fans of Rip's Big Bowl to not worry. We did not mess with a good thing. We just made some slight, small tweaks based on a lot of customer feedback. So the first change is we had to go with a more sustainable package, right? Yep. We had a bag in a box. There was a lot of excess air in there, like there is with most cereals. When you open it up, it only fills, half the bag or 2/3 the bag. So we had to move to, just a single recyclable bag. It looks smaller overall, but you actually get more bang for your buck. I think with the
let's give them the exact numbers. So before,
yeah, sure.
you were getting 13 ounces in the old Engine 2 Ritz Big Bowl cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're getting 14 ounces with the berry almond. You're getting 15 ounces with the banana walnut and 16 ounces with the date and raisin. So
That's
we've really
right.
upped the amount of cereal that people are getting.
Exactly. And I think that's 23% more on the date and raisin, which is amazing. We also wanted to, again, based on customer feedback, provide a resealable bag so you can keep your Ritz Big Bowl fresh for long periods of time, not just roll that bag and shove it back into the cardboard box, we all used to do. And then the other thing is we really wanted to move to organic oats. So the original Engine 2 cereal was great. We were using non-GMO certified oats, but we felt it was really important to upgrade the oats for this new and improved formula. Rip, have you heard of the Dirty Dozen, that environmental working group list of fruits and vegetables that are really important to buy organic?
Oh yeah, who hasn't?
Yes, exactly. So the things on there like spinach, kale, grapes, all of those items with lots of surface areas.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you want to invest and get the organic versions, right? Because I think of a kale leaf, it just collects pesticide, right? So you really want to make sure you're getting organic there. There's also something called the Clean 15. And these are the items where it's okay to buy conventional because there's a lower amount of pesticide that actually ends up in the part that you eat. So things like cantaloupes, avocados, kiwis are on the list, right? Because you only generally eat the inside of those items. Unless you're one of those people who eats the fuzzy skin of the kiwi. Are you one of those people?
I do, but I usually get organic when I'm doing that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Do you eat your strawberry tops like Dr. Greger does?
You mean the little green bits?
The green bits, yeah.
No, but maybe I should.
Yeah, hey, any way to get some extra
greens
diversity. Yeah, that's a thing. People should start eating their strawberry tops. Anyway, oats are another item that you really want to make sure to get organic if possible. So we made the transition here. And another great thing about oats that I'm excited about, again, this has been my world these days, is they're actually known to increase milk production in breastfeeding moms. So folks out there who are parents or looking to become parents, keep that in mind. Oatmeal and Ritz Big Bowl will be on our postpartum menu for sure.
Wow. Does that apply as well to steel cut oats, you think?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. So move to organic oats. And then what I'm most excited about, the real change, I think, to Ritz Big Bowl, the biggest ingredient change is all of the SKUs now have date pieces. And for those of you who have been listening to a few of these Snackables podcasts, I don't think I can go an episode without speaking the virtues of dates. My favorite fact is they have gram for gram more fiber than kale, more fiber than blueberries, more fiber than some beans. I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that's pushing the fiber up. I mean, for a half a cup serving size of any of these, you're getting 6 grams of dietary fiber.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's more than 20% of your daily recommended value. So if you have 2 servings of Big Bowl like I do, you're getting 12 grams of fiber.
Yeah. And I will say, I've had Dr. Alan Desmond and Dr. Will Bolshewitz on the podcast. These are gastroenterologists. And they've made it very, very clear that 97% of Americans are deficient in getting enough fiber. And that kind of RDA is actually pretty darn low. I mean, do you know what it is? Yeah.
It's low. I think it's 25 grams
25
a day for women.
And
38 for men is what I
and I can tell you that if you're doing the Plant Strong lifestyle, you're doing your big bowl, and you're doing your sweet potatoes, and you're doing your kale and your broccoli, and your whole grains, you're going to be knocking back probably 50 to 70 grams a day, and just crushing it with your microbiome and your regularity and your getting out all those toxins out of your system, bringing down the cholesterol level. It'll be phenomenal what's going on.
Absolutely. I was thinking about that USDA target too, of 25 grams for women, 38 grams for men. And it's even less if you're over the age of 50. That is a bare minimum of fiber that you should be getting. And so it's comforting to know and to think about, hey, if you're following a whole food plant-based diet, chances are you're getting 2 to 3 times the amount of daily recommended fiber.
Yep. And let's remember that fiber also helps, and it's so key to satiate you, right? To give you that.
Go ahead.
No, to give you that feeling of satiety and being full, especially when you mix that with some water. And a lot of these foods already contain 80 to 90% water. So it's a winning combination.
Yep. Agreed. Well, Rip, I have just one question for you before we get to the big question of this episode. You talked about the banana walnut being discontinued and how it was your favorite. We had to bring that one back. We absolutely had to. People were asking for it. When I was doing my research to think about what line extensions we wanted to do around the Big Bowl, there was no question this flavor had a cult following. And why was it discontinued? Do you know? It
was discontinued because it was doing half the sales that the berry and the original were doing, literally. And the berry and the original, they were like neck and neck, like just kind of crushing it. And I think that it's because, for whatever reason, maybe banana is a little divisive, but I'll tell people that are out there that have tried, a banana cereal. This isn't a banana flake, right? No. That's loaded with, safflower oil and sugars. This is just purely dried banana, and it is soft, and it is over the top flavorful, and it mixes perfectly with the dates that are in there as well. And I have to say that the dates that we have found with our new supplier partner, they're like date marshmallows.
Yes.
Right? They're not like the hard, one of the complaints we got with the banana was these dates would get as hard as little pebbles.
I heard that. It was like a risk.
Yeah. And we had some people going, hey, I think I broke a tooth.
Right. I heard about that.
So this banana walnut, I recommend people just, give it a whirl, try the sampler pack. And I think it'll change your Rips Big Bowl, at least a variety of your Rips Big Bowl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And speaking of that, the raisins that we have in the Dayton raisin, these are like the biggest, plumpest, most delicious raisins. And what we've done, can you speak to like what we've done with the berry almond to kind of up the game on that one?
Yeah, well, we of course we're using strawberries, we're using blueberries, and the big secret is we added in sliced almonds. That's one of my favorite flavor combination is berry and almond. It just works together. It pairs so well. So that's what I'm most excited about.
It's amazing what that does. It is like a little party in your mouth when you get a bite full of all those things. And the thing about the strawberries is it's not big pieces. It's little pieces that are throughout the whole thing. So every bite, you get some of that berry. It's a really nice improvement.
It's great. And that banana walnut, I think the old version used dehydrated bananas, which were a little bit chalky and kind of hard.
Yeah.
To your point, these are dried banana pieces. For anyone who's familiar with Barnana, those little snacks, that's basically what we put in here. And it's delicious. That combined with the dates, which we lovingly call the adult marshmallows of our cereal. I think folks are going to really like it.
Yeah. And then let me just say also, so some of the things, and maybe you're going to ask me this, Jess, and I'm jumping the gun, but
It's okay. Big
just
question.
kind of like what I put on top of my big bowl. So, I'll take any one of these three, and I love them all. Each one of them is like my children. Although I have said that I like the banana walnut the most, the berry almond and the date and raisin are right up there as well. And variety is the spice of life. But I always will put either a tablespoon and a half of ground flaxseed meal or chia seeds on top of any of them. It's very neutral flavor profile. Sometimes I do hemp hearts as well, depending upon if I have those in the refrigerator. And then here are some really unique fruit combinations that I put on top of this as well, because I'm a real glutton, and so I add even more fruit and more berries and more stuff to it. So I love grapefruit on top of it, right? That's one of my things. So I take a grapefruit and I'll take out each wedge, and it has to be perfect. If you've ever seen a video of me, I don't go into the whatever it's called. Do you know what it's called?
I know what you're talking about. The like kind of stringy pieces in between.
Yeah. It's just pure grapefruit slice.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. I learned that from my mom, and she's like, Rip, you got to try this. It's amazing. I'm like, oh, it sounds disgusting. And I tried it once, and now whenever I have a grapefruit around, I'll put it on. It doesn't matter what flavor it is. I love kiwi. I love putting sliced kiwi on them. Obviously, I love banana, but the banana, I don't like the banana on the berry almond. It has to be on either the date and raisin or the banana walnut. Okay. I love putting, and this is just in the last couple months since we had the granolas, I love putting the chocolate tahini granola on top of the banana walnut. It is like mind blowing. And it's just a little bit, like literally just like half of a handful I'll throw on there, and that's all I need because it is so sweet. I love doing sliced grapes, really hard green or purple grapes on top of any of them. I love frozen dark cherries, frozen mango, frozen blueberries. Just this morning, I did the berry almond, and I don't know if you've ever heard of a brand called Wyman's, but they make this 2-pound pack of frozen berry blend. It's blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. And I'll do like a cup of that, microwave it for 45 seconds, and then throw on the cereal. And it's like dessert for breakfast. It's like, should be illegal.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You just threw out so many great ideas. And I think the most important thing about Big Bowl, what I appreciate about it, we call it's your canvas. It's your canvas to create the cereal and make it your own. So that was the big question I wanted to ask you, Rip, is how do you Big Bowl? You gave us 10 good examples. I think the one that stands out to me is the grapefruit. I remember seeing you do that. I think we have a little video of what Rip eats in a day. And I saw you put blueberries and grapefruit slices in your Big Bowl. I love grapefruit. I eat one every morning, but I don't have it with my Big Bowl.
Now, I will say what I don't do is I don't squeeze the grapefruit juice into the bowl, right? I don't want it curdling with my plant-based milk. And speaking of which, since we did our episode a couple of weeks ago on plant-based milks, I want you to know that I've made some adjustments.
Have you?
So, yep. I love the Eden soy milk. It's just 2 ingredients. It's water and soybeans. Mm-hmm. So I love that. It's thick, it's creamy, it's substantial. For people that are trying to lose weight, I would not use that. I would use kind of an unsweetened version that's half the calories, because that's like 120 or 30 for an 8-ounce glass. And then I love Pacific, but I'm now doing the reduced sugar Pacific oat milk.
Yeah. Great. Rip, I'm so happy to hear that. And
well, let me ask you, how do you Big Bowl?
How do I Big Bowl? Well, I first have to tell you, Rip, I have to confess something. So
what?
When I was at Whole Foods,
were you cheating on me?
I was like, Rip, I remember people singing the praises of Big Bowl, like shouting it from the rooftops. Internally, those fans of Big Bowl were just, I mean, they loved it. They were addicted to it, all of these things. And I remember trying it for the first time and I thought it was good, but I wasn't like over the moon, wowed, shouting from the rooftops. So I kept eating and kept eating. You know, I finished up the box. And I remember when it ran out, I just had to have more. It is strangely addictive and an acquired taste. And I remember that surprised me a lot. I was like, wow. Okay, so you eat it for a period of time and then your body actually starts craving. You're like, okay, I get it.
Just like greens, just like
Just
greens.
like greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, but you know, in all honesty, you know, depending upon which one of these, you're getting 43 to 45 grams of whole grains. And our bodies want whole grains.
Yes,
They really
yes.
do.
Yes, they do. You brought up the COVID study, and I'll just interject this study that I read. They asked dietitians, what's the one thing that Americans should be tweaking in their diet? If they just do one thing, what is it? What should they be getting more of? I thought it would be vegetables. It's actually whole grains, not fruits, not vegetables, whole grains, probably because of the fiber, but there's also lots of other nutrients in whole grains as well. But that really surprised me. It was like one thing, just eat some more whole grains. Okay.
No, the latest study that I read shows that 95% of Americans are not getting enough whole grains each and every day. 95%, right? God. I mean, it's ludicrous.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Like that's an easy one.
Hey, so Jess,
yes.
What should we do? Should we have a contest and offer a prize?
Yeah. So Rip, I wanted to hear how you Big Bowl. I have to share really fast. When I eat Big Bowl, I always do it with ice cold milk.
Yes.
I add in a sliced banana, some cashews, and a dash of cinnamon, and I eat it for dessert only. It's not a breakfast food for me. It's my ice cream alternative, and it's really good there. I love asking the members of our team how they Big Bowl, and I'm really curious to hear from our fans.
Well, it is. And I want to know every little nuance and every little idiosyncrasy that you do. For example, you like the milk super, super cold, right?
Super cold, yes.
I'm like, if it's in the fridge, if I don't have one, I'll just take it out of the pantry. But I love that specificity. And I'll tell you another thing that I do. I don't just have one big bowl a day. I always have two. And I have a mini bowl after dinner, usually an hour, to tie me to right before I go to sleep. And I almost feel like I can't remember the last time I didn't have my mini Rip's Big Bowl for dessert. It's just like, I can't go without it.
Yes. That is the dessert of our household as well. So I'm curious if members of the community are doing this as well. So we want to put out a show us your Big Bowl competition here. And we want to hear, to Rip's point, the nuances, whatever sort of delicious or creative or inspiring ingredients you put in. We want to know about it. So there are a few ways folks can
all your idiosyncrasies, all your foibles.
Yes.
We want it all.
We want it all. So you can post a comment on YouTube if you're checking this out on YouTube. But better yet, if you can take a picture and in Facebook or in Instagram, you can tag us at Go Plant Strong or use the hashtag Rips Big Bowl. We would love to hear from you. And like I said, the most delicious, creative, nuanced, inspiring post is going to receive a special gift. I bet it's some Big Bowl.
I think it might be some Big Bowl too. With that, Jess, I think it's time that we say goodbye to this episode. It's been great seeing you again.
Yes, thank you, Rip.
And and I'm going to be gone for about 10, 11 days up in Cleveland doing plant stock and visiting my parents. So I'll see you when I get back. But in the meantime, keep big bowling it.
Yes, we will. We will. Thanks, Rip.
All right. Thanks, Jess. Peace. Engine 2. Keep it playing strong.